right now. He needs to move forward with his immortals.
This is not very efficient, but he's doing a lot of damage, and he manages to get a nice flashing and nothing. But he baited out so many.
And Grasway at the natural.
Oh,
and so many pros.
This work is going to be able to move. No, he gets a large hit on those work. There's nothing to stop this push. There's so many units left for Jernström.
Covership goes down.
This is absolutely amazing play from Jernström.
Oh, no!
Coming in the third base and they're killing all of the workers. Oh my god. And at the same time he's killing every worker. Single worker. 33 workers killed with those drops.
And we are back. Good evening again. We're now at the challenge part of this night's broadcast. This is where anyone in this room can challenge one of our master players, and if they win, they might win a 300 kroner gift certificate from Komplett. So it's big stakes that we're playing about here tonight.
Yeah, and we might actually give our players a handicap if they are a lower rank.
Yeah.
For instance, our first player is a platinum level player.
Yep.
And what do you think we should throw onto him?
Well, I don't think we should give him a handicap, actually.
Oh.
No. I feel that this prize is so important that if he wants it, he's going to have to fight for it.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
Yes. And our first player, first challenger for the evening, is Daneh. He's a platinum player. He plays toss, and he likes cheese.
Cheese. What kind of cheese? I'm more of a cheddar guy.
Yeah, I like cheddar as well. Cheddar is nice.
Yeah, and this player might be more of a Gouda person.
Who knows? He might be a Swiss cheese person as well.
Perhaps, but then there's going to be a lot of holes in his wall.
Yes. And Daneh has chosen a map he wants to play on, and I believe he's chosen Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah, a very good choice.
Yeah.
I mean, Cloud Kingdom being a very balanced map for overall purposes, and a very good blink map in PvP.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have totally forgot to mention which one of our master players he has chosen to challenge. And would you like to tell us?
Okay. Our dear Platinum player is going up against the ecTheovide, which is our dear Terran player.
Yes,
not
exactly.
correct from earlier.
I was trying to put suede,
like the band, or the leather.
Yes, yeah, like the leather. In a bad position. I figured he didn't know which player we were going up against. But I think we're ready to go. So, our first match for our first 300 kroner gift certificate from komplett.se. These guys is starting right now. And, Suede, what do you think we're going to see here?
I think we're going to see some cheese, perhaps.
Yo.
And I'm hoping Proxy 2 Gate. I mean, if he says that he loves cheese, and if he says that, I mean, that's him as a player, that's what I expect, especially in this matchup. And right now we see that this map, not an early scout from Daneh, and not an early scout from our dear master player.
Well, I don't think that our viewers, there we are, now our viewers can see the map as well. But I don't think we should take too hard on this. He likes cheese. He also told me that he once won a sausage eating competition. So we might be in for some sausage play as well.
What?
Sausage play.
Oh, and Daneh says, pause please, there's no sound in his game.
Well,
he might be needing to go into his settings and alter that a couple of seconds.
Yes, well, I believe we have someone from our production office running over there right now to see what the problem is. Yes, we do have someone running over. So, it's up to you and me to keep this interesting while nothing happens.
Yeah, and do you think this is going to be a huge impact for our Platinum player going up against the Masters player playing with no sound?
Well, yes, and also I believe this pause will greatly affect his timings. He will be way off now that, well, not that much has happened yet. How does he know when to build the supply depot, when to take his gas, when to stop building workers, etc., etc.?
Well, I would do it at 100 minerals.
Seems like, yeah. seems reasonable, I would say.
Yeah, and we haven't got any notice from our dear production crew, so we are going to stall this on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And this is your Terran player. If you were facing a master level Protoss, or Terran, or whatever race on this map, if you go bio, what sort of strategy would you use?
Well, on this map, like every map, I would use a 1 barracks fast expand, which goes into 3 barracks. My first 105 gas goes to Sting, the next to factory, the next to starport, the next 200 to 2 fast medivacs. I do a fast timing with Sting +1/+1 on a dual drop.
That sounds deadly.
It is, especially on ladder, when people don't know it's coming. You can win a lot of games that way. When I play against, for instance, Green Duck, it's not that efficient, since he knows I'm doing it.
That's some kind of a metagame analysis going on right there. And I think that we are actually fine to go into this game right now.
Oh, finally.
And if we could have someone count down.
Well, go. They're typing go, so let's go.
And here we have our observer counting into our game, and we are going to resume in 3, 2, 1, go.
And go.
And go.
And go.
Oh.
And go. And go. And go. And go! Yes, there we are. Finally. So, up in the right corner we have our reigning Masters player, is ecTheovide. Please give it up for ecTheovide! Yeah.
And in the bottom left we have our challenger, our red Protoss player. Give it up for Daneh!
Well, there we go.
Oh.
Actually, Daneh is from... thank you. Is from this section. He studies computers. So he's on the home turf here, actually.
Okay, so it has a big crowd support, I think. Do you think that will carry him throughout this game?
No, obviously. Unless it doesn't. But otherwise, obviously.
Well, that's a huge impact if it doesn't. So, right now, we see our Terran player getting that scout on 13 supply, and our Protoss player doing ditto.
Yeah, they're scouting at the same time as well.
Yeah, and we might actually see these two workers kissing in the middle here if they connect. Oh, and there we go.
Oh, well, I think
how
our viewers
wonderful.
Just caught it.
Oh, that's such a bad thing. I mean,
bad thing? No. Love on Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah, but I mean,
probe on SCV action. The good way.
Oh God.
What?
No, nothing.
Well, let's go back to this game. We can see that ecTheovide has not taken a gas. It looks like he's going for a fast expand, as all great players do.
Yeah, and we see Daneh being idle with the scout in ecTheovide's main, and right now he's shifting it up in here, and our Terran player...
Yes, and we had a bit of sound issues. I wonder if I can trigger another one. Ha! No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So, what's going on?
And right now we see a supply depot being built in the main of our Terran player, and we see a command center being built on the low ground as well.
Yeah, you can. On this map, no problem at all. You just need to put down a bunker, and if you scout a 4-gate or something like that, you put down 2 more bunkers.
Yeah, and right now we see for our challenger, Daneh, putting down that second geyser. Could possibly go for a sentry expand, but I think he might actually take a bit.
Well, he has warp gate on the way. I would love to see a 4-gate or something like that. You can hold it off with the build that ecTheovide is doing, of course, but does he expect it? That's the big question right now.
Yeah, I mean, if a scan were to go down right now, it would be very confusing to scout out, and there's a Robo Bay.
Oh,
could he possibly be going for a bust of some sort?
Well, possibly. He's putting on a proxy pylon right now. As we see ecTheovide moving out with 3 Marines. He's trying to catch probes, I guess.
Yeah, and actually, Daneh is overproducing some workers right now. He might actually just be going for this expansion.
ecTheovide found the proxy pylon right away and said he wants none of that. While Daneh has taken the forward watchtower with his stalkers.
Oh, and we see Daneh actually adding on a couple of gateways. And right now we see our Terran player putting down a factory. Might actually just be taken up for those early medevacs, or actually some kind of Banshee action. And I mean, that would be horrific if he would actually go for Cloak Banshee against a rowboat opening.
Well, he could, of course, go to a Banshee opening, but since he's putting down his engineering bay right now, I don't think that's what's going to happen. He's also putting down a tech lab and a reactor, so I don't know yet at what buildings are getting down.
And ecTheovide gets the complete scout of Daneh's main, and he sees the 3-gate robo being underway.
Yeah, and the first immortal pops out. There is yet nothing to hit from it, but there is a tank on the way from ecTheovide. Mech play against Toss is, of course, very rare.
Yeah.
In Wings of Liberty, at least.
Yeah, and here we see siege mode being created, and we see another factory. So he is going to get onto that mech route. I mean, this is, for me, something quite strange, because I'm a third player, and I'm not really accustomed to seeing mech being used in any other way than Hellion Run Bice roasting my drones. But this could be a really interesting game. He's also producing Marines out of his barracks.
Yeah, so Marine tank at this moment, which is of course a build used primarily against third, but who knows? ecTheovide is up to two divisions from Daneh. Maybe he can get it to work.
Yeah, and right now we actually see siege mode being completed in the close future, and before Daneh's push is actually coming. And I think our Terran player is going to hold this really easy.
Yeah, as long as he's on the money and gets his SCVs to repair those bunkers right away, he should have no problem.
There we see the siege mode.
Does he have any sentry? Well, he just has one sentry. So he's not going to be able to force field away from all those bunkers that's coming up right now.
No, he has way too many Stalkers. Stalkers are an excellent unit for support attack. I mean, you need to have a sell-up in front, a force field cutting off the army, or something to buffer the damage that is being absorbed, because the Stalker is actually quite fragile. And here we see 3 sell-ups, but I don't think this is enough.
No, the barracks is going to see him early, and he's putting them a very offensive focus. But here we go! 3 tanks, though. And he lands the barracks to
excellent position.
Very good shot there. And 3 siege tanks, he's not going to be able to break in there, even with those immortals.
Yeah, I mean, he has a sentry, but it's one sentry.
Yeah.
It isn't going to go anywhere. I mean, you need multiple sentries to force field off those workers from repairing those bunkers. But we have 3 tanks sieged up, and I mean, there's nothing you can do, actually.
Yeah, as long as ecTheovide aims those tanks at the right units and not let them shoot at the immortals, there should be no problem. And the fourth tank on the high ground is going to take out this forward pylon as well. Oh, and get a shot off at his army. So he's definitely going to drive this away. So ecTheovide has held off the early pressure, and what's Daneh going to do now?
Yeah, I think he's just going to expand behind this, and there we see the Nexus being halfway done. But I mean, he's really behind, and we see his follow-up Twilight Council for sell-out leg speed and the robotics bay for the Claw's Eye. But at this point, he's so far behind, I don't think he can actually catch up in tech.
Well, perhaps not. One good harass could, of course, change everything, as long as it does decent SCV damage.
Yeah, but I mean, the natural of our Terran players absolutely under lockdown. And we see a starport coming into play in the main, and we see a third expansion being built. And, I mean, he has all the components to make this game a huge success.
Yeah. Has ecTheovide scouted anything about what Daneh is doing right now?
No.
Nothing. So he doesn't know there's Colossus coming.
No. I mean, he could scan. He could scan right now with his natural Nexus, natural command center. I'm sorry.
Orbital command, you mean?
Oh. You got me there. I'm a third player. Don't make fun of me.
Oh, and here's a battle coming up, but I think this mech could be no problem for these.
Yeah, mech play being so viable against those very fragile warp gate units with those SMEs repairing those siege tanks, there is absolutely no way for Daneh to actually forward it.
Yes. ecTheovide drives Daneh away and doubles Daneh's supply instantly.
Yeah.
So this is, well, it's looking bad for our contender at the moment.
And if we take a look at the worker harvesters tab, we actually see that Daneh is below in workers with 15 workers, and they are actually equivalent on bases right now. But, I mean, there is a command center getting morphed in our Terran player's base, and it is going to drop down onto that
ecTheovide is pushing out across the map right now. He's leading with his Hellions. He's perhaps going to poke up and see what's on the other side of the rocks. Or is he going to siege on the downside?
Yes, I think he is going to siege just to get the momentum up and siege, just leapfrog up this ramp. And I mean, there is force fields, but there's 2 force that could break those down just by walking over them.
And here he comes. What can Daneh do against this?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Those swords do so much damage. And there's the GG from Daneh.
There is our first game, a worthy competitor trying his best to beat our dear master player, ecTheovide.
Exactly. So, our first contender did not beat our master player, so sadly he does not win our fabulous prize.